So Uber Connect. Uber Connect was meant to be a way for people to send non-food items just across town. Well, now some drivers tell NBC News they're inadvertently becoming mules.
Alex was staying alone in her family's home in a gated community. One morning, Anne received an alert from the front gate. It was an Uber with a delivery for Alex, but it wasn't food. Alex connected with a friend online and bought fentanyl from him. He used Uber Connect to deliver it to her.
When you think of Uber Eats or Doordash, what comes to mind? Probably food delivery with a little bit of shopping mixed in. Maybe you think about waiting in parking lots for extended periods of time, people watching, until you finally get an offer that's worth your time. What may not come to mind is trafficking. Wow, that escalated quickly, but I'll explain my position in a moment. What's going on, everybody? I'm Zach Drives Fast for the RideShare Guy, and in this video, we're going to talk about a new type of order that Uber Eats drivers may soon be seeing, and why you may want to avoid them. Generally speaking, when we see one gig app offer something new, it's not very long before we see the others follow suit. For example, about a year ago, we started seeing Doordash doing something called peer-to-peer delivery, as well as package returns. Essentially, peer-to-peer delivery is like Uber Connect, where we pick up a package from one customer and drop it off to a different customer. Package return is exactly what it sounds like, in theory. Fast forward, and we're seeing Uber do the exact same thing with package return. We're going to be talking about Uber Connect as well as their new package return service, and see if drivers should ever entertain these order types. Similar to DoorDash, we're seeing Uber trying to break into even more convenience services. But what's in it for the driver other than presumably insultingly low pay and a massive liability? Let's start with the pay or lack thereof. Uber is now charging customers a flat $5 fee to have a driver come to their house and pick up a package and deliver it to a post office, a UPS store, or a FedEx store. This fee can be as low as $3. I want to pause here for a moment. Let's say that the customer is only being charged $5. How much of that fee is the driver going to end up with? In recent months, we've seen take rates on Uber as high as 60%. Admittedly, I don't know what percentage of this fee is going to go to the driver, but for the sake of this video, let's also assume a 60% take rate. That leaves $2 going to the driver. Now, I want to talk for a moment about Uber Connect, and yes, I'm aware that this isn't a new service. However, I see the drawbacks to both Uber Connect and package return to be almost identical. With Uber Connect, we're picking up packages containing something, and we're delivering them somewhere to someone. For starters, we have no idea what's in those packages, and sure, in most cases, it probably is something innocent. But I want you to stop for a moment and ask yourself who might want to utilize a service where very few questions are asked and no ID is required. Don't get me wrong, I see plenty of legitimate use cases for Uber Connect and their package return service. For example, UDM, a popular content creator in this niche, got an Uber Connect picking up from an attorney's office and delivering to a court for a legal proceeding. All right, another example. Maybe to everybody's delight, Granny isn't comfortable driving anymore, so she sends those freshly baked holiday cookies through Uber Connect. Both of these are perfectly legitimate use cases, but let's jump back to the people who don't want too many questions asked. There are entire online black markets of people purchasing and selling illicit goods. In fact, some of these markets have made billions of dollars in profits. Sellers on these various marketplaces enjoy almost total anonymity and take almost no risks themselves. Let's be real. If you drive through a residential neighborhood, it's not very hard to spot the house where the family's been gone for a week or two. Their grass is a little longer than the neighbors. Maybe they have a few newspapers that haven't been picked up, or their shades are closed during the day. All right, keep that in mind. The next time you're at a grocery store or an electronics shop, I'm willing to bet that you're going to see burner phones either at or near the cash registers. Not too far from the burner phones, you'll find the prepaid debit cards. Now, somebody with nefarious intentions now knows an address where nobody's home. They also have a phone and a debit card with none of their personal information tied to it. They drop the package at the vacant house, and then they just order an Uber driver to come and pick it up. Then they can wipe their hands of it, having almost zero risk. Meanwhile, then the driver could be transporting a felony amount of, well, use your imagination. Now, of course, if you're pulled over and busted, it wouldn't be very hard to prove that you were picking up an Uber order. But I also can't confidently say that that would be the end of the story for you. Okay, let's move on to package return. It sounds safer, right? If you're anything like me, you might think of package return as regrettable Amazon purchases after having one too many. Part of the problem with the package return program is Uber has made almost zero effort to educate the drivers that this comes with the same risk as Uber Connect. The only difference between these two services is the end destination. With Uber Connect, you could be dropping off quite literally anywhere. However, with package return, you're either going to the post office, a UPS store, or a FedEx store. Great. We know we're not delivering to a trap house, but we don't know that we're not delivering a product that won't end up at one. Remember those online black markets we talked about from earlier? Great. Keep those in mind. The only additional thing required for customers to use package return is a prepaid shipping label. Do you remember that prepaid debit card that you can pay cash for? And sure, a return address is required, but remember that empty house? Yes, the name is package return, but it's just that, a name, not a requirement. People with ill intentions will use this to send illegal and/or dangerous items through the mail. Services like Uber Eats and Doordash just offer these customers more anonymity and less risk. Personally, I think it is completely unacceptable when we see gig companies putting drivers in a position where we may be breaking the law. But that is exactly what we're seeing Uber doing. For those of you who may think that I'm being a little overdramatic, try telling that to the Uber drivers that have already had this happen to them. Matter of fact, after you're done watching this video, go to Google or YouTube and type in Uber Connect drugs, and then come back and leave a comment letting me know if these types of orders are something that you would ever entertain. Unfortunately, some of the garbage flooding the streets has gotten so potent that just coming into contact with it poses a significant risk to your life. I can't speak for you, but I'm not going to sit there and hope that something was packaged well enough to not kill me. Look, I understand that oversaturation is a major problem, and as it gets worse, every order becomes slightly more tempting. But there are some things that we should never entertain, and in my opinion, this is one of them. What is your opinion on Uber Connect and package return? Have you tried it? Would you try it? And one more thing. If you are unfortunate enough to transport something illegal and get busted and charged, do you think that these companies are going to send lawyers to defend you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't get me wrong, not every new order type is bad for drivers, but this one could just go sideways a lot easier than the rest. Sure, in a majority of cases, nothing will go wrong, but is that a risk that you're willing to take? Well, that's going to about wrap up the video. If you haven't done so yet, please do consider pressing the like button and subscribing to the RideShare Guy. You can catch my videos here every Tuesday. If this video resonated with you, check out this video next where I give you some ideas on combating oversaturation. I'm Zach Drives Fast for the RideShare Guy. Take care.